So this is a pretty big deal. Microsoft was just raided by the FTC. Now, I have to be very specific, though. This is just Microsoft in Japan. This is their Japanese subsidiary, which is based in Tokyo, or a specific section of Tokyo, it looks like, called Minato, Tokyo. So yeah, this is not taking place anywhere outside of Japan. But regardless, definitely a big deal. This is not like, game over for Microsoft or even Microsoft Japan, nothing like that. But still a very big deal. If Japan's antitrust authority is physically raiding their offices, that means that there are probably, in my opinion, enough evidence of some sort of maybe potential wrongdoing. That's just solely in my opinion. It's not nothing really factually based, I suppose. But if a raid is happening, I'm sure there's probably not zero evidence or zero something out there that's telling the government, hey, there is something here. And a lot of this is basically due to some suspected unfair trade practices under the Antimonopoly Act. Yeah, so I've got this in the description. This is from this Automaton article right here. Microsoft Japan raided by antitrust watchdog over suspected unfair trade practices. We see this all took place about 5 days ago on February 25th. That was Wednesday. It says on February 25th, the Japan Fair Trade Commission conducted an on-site search and seizure of Microsoft's Japanese subsidiary in Minato, Tokyo, on suspicion of violating the country's Anti-Monopoly Act, which prevents private monopolization, unreasonable restraints of trade, and unfair methods in business competition. And it all sounds like this is all because, or the allegation is that Microsoft is refusing to allow a lot of Windows-based services, like the Windows operating system or Microsoft 365, or, things like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel. They are allegedly refusing to allow that on third-party cloud services. So cloud services that are not Microsoft, and apparently they are also charging excessively high fees for these services. And it goes on to talk about how this is so that Microsoft can drive more users toward its Azure cloud service. I've heard a bit about that, but yeah, they have a Microsoft cloud-based system called Azure, Azure. So basically they want people to use that cloud-based service, and if they don't, they're not going to be able to use things like Microsoft Word or things like that on the cloud, or if they do, it's basically really high fees. So yes, this raid just happened about 5 days ago. Obviously, I'm sure to collect more information for the Fair Trade Commission for their investigation. The article talks about how, depending on these findings, the investigation could expand way past just Microsoft Japan, but obviously that is totally 100% speculation at this point. I don't know if all of this stuff is going on outside of Japan right now, or, maybe it's not. If it is, then I don't know, maybe Japan's Fair Trade Commission was just the one that was strict enough to basically do something like this to fight the alleged, unfair practices. Very big stuff. We'll see how this raid actually contributes to this investigation.